Good evening, good evening, good evening. Or if you're watching the replay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're listening and watching the Next Level Living Show with Coach Terrance. And I am your host, Terrance, the unstoppable Coach Leffridge. And I thank you so much for spending a little bit of your time with us this evening. The Next Level Living Show, where we talk to ordinary people doing extraordinary things to live their life on the next level. We do this each and every week, and we have exciting people, exciting guests, people who may not be at the top of the mountain, but people who are on their journey on the way up. And these up and coming authors, speakers, coaches, consultants, entertainers, they all have a story to tell. And it was a vision that was given to me by God to create this show because too many times I'd watch regular TV or cable satellite TV and I'd see all these people at the top of their game. And it made it seem like it was so easy to do. But in reality, we all know that getting to the top takes a lot of things happening behind the scenes before you see the finished product. And there's somebody out there who wants to do what I'm doing. There's somebody out there who wants to do what my guest that's on the show tonight wants to do. There's somebody out there that wants to live a different life than what they're living right now. And it's my responsibility and it's this show's opportunity to showcase those people who are actually doing the work to live their life on the next level, and they're willing to be transparent about telling you, the audience, on how they got there. They're not only going to tell you about their successes, but they're going to talk to you about their challenges. They're going to talk to you about the obstacles that they had to overcome in order to live the life that they're living right now. And then they're going to give you some information and some infotainment that you can use to take your life to the next level. So I'm excited that you're here. I'm glad that you took the time out of your busy schedule to be a part of the Next Level Living Show. So here are a couple of housekeeping rules. As always, we want you to be interactive with the show. So if you're watching this live right now, then I want you to go ahead and look above the screen. You'll see four buttons. You'll see a Facebook button, a LinkedIn button, a Twitter button, and a Pinterest button. Go ahead, click any one of those buttons that you choose and let the world know that you have decided to invest in yourself this evening by watching the Next Level Living Show. And let them know that we're on the air and have them come on and join us. You can hit that like button and tell the world how you feel about the show so far. You can hit that LinkedIn button and connect with your business friends and let them know that this show is talking about things related to business and living life on the next level. You can hit that Twitter button and in however many characters you have, up to 140, you can let them know how exciting the Next Level Living Show is. And then the pin interest button, you can snap a shot, a real quick picture of the show and put it out there and let them know that this handsome guy and this wonderful, vivacious, lovely guest that we're going to have this evening is on the air right now. So go ahead, right now, click one of those buttons. I dare you. I double dog dare you to go ahead and let the world know that you are investing in yourself, in developing yourself, and living your life on the next level. But wait, that's not it. There's more. If you look down below, you'll see that you can be interactive with us by going to the Next Level Living Show Facebook chat room. All you have to do is click on the click here button and it's going to automatically send you over to the Next Level Living Show Facebook page where you can leave us your name. You can leave us where you're from. Tell us if you've got a business or you're aspiring to become a business or an entrepreneur, and then tell us what you feel about the show so far. We love to see people come on the show. We love to answer questions. We love to get your comments and be interactive with you. So definitely don't be shy. Go ahead, go over to the Next Level Living Show Facebook chat room, and then let's be interactive. So as I said at the beginning, you know me, I'm Mr. Unstoppable, and I have had an unstoppable year so far. We're already in the middle of March, and I have had so many blessings as a result of being a part of this show and interacting with other people that have been on the show. I told you guys last week when I talked to you about old school, new school ways to take your business to the next level. And if you missed that show, you can always go back into the archives. Just scroll down on the Next Level Living Show page, and it'll take you back to last week's episode where we talked about some old school ways to create your business, to work smarter and not harder. And then we talked about some new school ways. New school ways, what we're doing right now, interacting via Google Hangout, interacting via webinar. That's a new school way. You don't have to leave the comfort of your home. You could be sitting watching me right now in your pajamas and your footies. And it's okay because I'm able to talk to you and you're able to interact with me. You don't have to get up and get in your car and drive 5, 10, 20, even 50 miles to see me. I'm right here live and in color just for you. So as I was saying, being able to have opportunities to share powerful content with you and talk to you about living an unstoppable life has been a blessing all in itself. And I want to thank all of you guys who have purchased a copy of my book, Living the Unstoppable Life. You are unstoppable. I had a copy of it around here somewhere. Hold on just a second. There we go. So, a copy of my book, You Are Unstoppable, 11 Key Attributes of Living an Unstoppable Life. Thank you so much for everyone who's purchased the book so far. You can go to my website at unstoppablecoaching.com and look for the tab that says Unstoppable Book. The Unstoppable Book. You click on that tab, and it's going to take you right to the directions on how you can order your book if you haven't done it yet. And so the book has been phenomenal, and it's opened up a lot of doors for me. And one of the doors that has opened up for me is that I'm going to be speaking at this empowerment conference later on this month, and it's called Unleashed. Unleashed, the Empowerment Conference here in Chicago, March 26th through the 28th. So if you're in the Chicago area at the end of the month, then definitely I want you to stop through. Go ahead and register now. Let me see if I can share my screen, and we'll see if we can find that tab. Hold on just one second. Nope, that's not what I want. Let's try that again. I love this technology, how it allows you to just do a lot of different things and do it in a great way that works for everybody, well, when it wants to work. Okay, so anyway, I'll put that information in the Facebook Next Level Living Show chat room, but it's Unleashed, the Empowerment Conference, and it's here in Chicago, March 26th through the 28th. Great speakers, and I'm going to be speaking on Don't Get Lost in the Hangover. And I think it's a powerful topic because it talks about after you watch shows like the Next Level Living Show, after you go to conferences and you get filled with lots of content and lots of information, after you meet with coaches and consultants like tonight's guest, you get a lot of information and you see the possibilities of what can happen in your life. But then you walk away. You leave that conference, you leave that meeting, you leave this webinar, and then what happens? Do you get lost in the hangover of all that information that has been given to you and that high that you got and feeling good about that possibility from all that information, from all that infotainment high you just received? Do you get lost in that hangover? Or do you take action? Do you take massive action? Are you called to do something with all that information and entertainment you just received? So I'm going to be speaking on how not to get lost in the hangover. So I definitely encourage you to come on to Chicago if you're in the Chicago area to stop by the Unleashed Conference, March 26th through the 28th. All right. And then go to my website, unstoppablecoaching.com, to get your copy of the You Are Unstoppable book. It's not just a book, it's a workbook. So not only are you reading, there's some work that needs to be done. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the accountability coach, and I hold you accountable to taking this information and doing something with it. So it's more than just a book, it's a workbook. But go ahead, check it out, unstoppablecoaching.com. So we're going to get into tonight's guest. So one of the other things that happened this year as a result of the book and the relationships that I formed through the book is I got an opportunity to go to a conference in Maryland in February, 72 Hours of Power. And there were over 80 different speakers there talking about empowerment, talking about strategy, talking about the things that I needed to know to take my business to the next level, to restructure my business, to learn how to be a better speaker, and to also share my information. And I met a lot of wonderful people. And this lady that I met there just blew me away with her presence, with her style. She was not only presenting there, but she was working behind the scenes. She volunteered the very first day she got there to just jump in and help out. She saw something that needed to be done in terms of registration and getting people where they needed to be. And she just jumped right in. And you could tell that she had a giving spirit from the very first moment that I met her. And throughout our 72 hours of hanging out, we had a chance to talk, we had a chance to bond, and we formed a friendship that I think is going to bear fruit in the future for both of us. And she honored me by saying that she would love to be a part of the Next Level Living show. Well, she is the Chief Elevation Officer for Elevate Life Business and Consulting Services. She hails from California, and she's out there in the nice warm weather now, and she's going to bless us with her story of how she went from 20 years in corporate America to going into her calling, helping small businesses take their businesses to the next level of their greatness and beyond as well. So without further ado, let's welcome to the call Erica Williams Rogers of Elevate Life. Erica, are you on the broadcast?
Absolutely, and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me, Terrance.
All right, we can hear you, but we can't see you. So let's work on that camera setting. You can continue to talk, but we can't see your lovely smile yet.
Oh my, is that camera making you wait?
That camera is making us wait. We're waiting patiently because we know you're going to fill us full of information. I saw it just a little bit. Come on. Listen.
All right.
I think I
Well,
can. I think I can. I think I can.
and this is actually a very good example of being unstoppable.
All right. There
And
she is.
regardless, and we have to admit this wasn't planned, but it's a great example of when life throws its little bumps in the way, how you continue to move forward with a vision that's bigger than yourself. So I'm glad that you can see us, but that's definitely a wonderful example on how you continue to move forward to ensure that you accomplish your goals, even when the camera decides not to show up at the same time as you do.
Absolutely. So, Erica, thank you so much for blessing us to be part of the show. Real quickly, tell us a little bit about Erica. And what I always like to ask you first and foremost before you tell us a little bit about yourself is what does it mean to you to live life on the next level?
Um, Terrence, I really love that question because uh, it requires for me to do what I believe we often don't stop and do, which is really think introspectively. Because living the life on the next level, really for me is about a spiritual journey, not the measurable, tangible, material things that we often measure our life with. And so for me, living on the next level is really understanding what my purpose is and where I'm being called to serve. And in my experience, what's happened is, as I understood what my purpose is, through life, it requires me to think bigger, to challenge myself in order to get to the next step, or i.e., the next level. So whether it has been a transition that was quite smooth, or if the Lord required me to jump, all of it was in sight of living to the next level.
All right, I like it. So do us the honor of telling us a little bit about Erica Williams Rogers and Elevate Life. Tell us about that as well.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Erica Williams Rogers, and I am the CEO, Chief Elevation Officer of Elevate Life. I came here through a journey of growing up in Southern California. And why is that significant is because as I was growing up in South Central LA, many times people would assume that outside my door were examples on why life has its challenges and why I may not be able to move forward. But in fact, what it did was it helped me understand the importance of fortitude, of keeping in mind what my goals are, and making sure, in your terms, Terrance, that I'm unstoppable about the pursuit of those. And so with that, at the age of 13, I had the dream of being able to kind of marry two loves that I had at the time, which was teaching. I love to see how providing information to an individual, how it opened their eyes to new possibility. That's what teaching meant to me. But I also really was intrigued about business. And so later I would understand that in order to do both of them, I wanted to teach business entrepreneurs how to run their business better, hence a business consultant. But in that pursuit at 17, I had the opportunity to start my first corporate position with Procter & Gamble. I was on a mission to ensure that I had the skills and experience in order to live out my dream. And so I started my corporate career as a consultative sales, really helping people understand not only what is being sold, but whose needs are being met and why are they buying it and why are they buying it at that particular location or store. So I really built the skill to understanding, focusing on the consumer or the client, not necessarily on the product and service. Um, and then I moved forward and continued with my corporate career, therefore working not only for Procter & Gamble, but moving forward with Mattel and Warner Brothers, doing similar consultative sales and marketing strategies that in all those situations really help those organizations understand how to build their business. And so it was a wonderful, wonderful experience in terms of building my skill sets and understanding really how to both leverage my two loves of teaching and applying that in a business setting.
Okay. So and a lot of times when people think of teachers, they just think of it one way. They think of it in the classroom. They think of it in front of students. They think of the red apple on the desk and the blackboard or the chalkboard. So how did you take your love for teaching and find this whole other arena called consulting, and what made you feel like that was the actual way you wanted to teach versus the traditional?
Absolutely. Well, I shared my corporate experience, and so for 15 years, I moved forward and climbed up the ladder very quickly. I'm having responsibilities for not only U.S., but North, Central, and South American retailers. And so from my perspective, so I thought, I had the best of both worlds. I was able to sit down with executives and help them understand what their business was, who's walking into their stores, why they're walking into those stores, and why the loyalty was created. It's the sharing of that information really was my ability to, quote, teach them what it was to be in business for them uniquely. And so that's where I was able, from my definition, the sharing of information in order to broaden and provide additional perspective to another person. That's really what teaching is. And from that view, that can be applied just anywhere. And I applied it into business from a consulting standpoint.
Excellent. I love it. So you worked in corporate America, and you said you rose up the ladder very quickly. But if your industry was like most of corporate America, as most of us know it, then you probably didn't see a lot of you. And when I say you, a lot of women and a lot of women of color in the boardrooms and in the other team meetings that you attended. Would that be a safe assumption?
That is 100% correct assumption. And so there were not many who looked like me from a cultural or ethnicity standpoint, or even from an age perspective, because I started early and moved up very quickly. But what that did was it really helped me open up and understand what it took in order to achieve despite those things.
And so, give us one of those things that one of those nuggets that you think it takes for the 17-year-old Erica today, who is looking to do what you did. What would be that one golden nugget if they're looking to go into corporate America that you would share, knowing that there aren't a lot of women of color in the type of positions that we would hope they would be even today in 2015. What nugget would you share with that 17-year-old girl now?
Uh, the biggest things that will continue to have her move forward is to understand that in each of those experiences, whether she thinks it's the best job in the world or it's one of the most challenging that she's ever had, that there are golden nuggets within that experience. And what I mean by that is there are skills and knowledge that you're gaining from that experience that you can leverage moving forward. And so if you take that perspective where you are in those positions, then it really becomes something that no one can take away from you. For example, the things that I learned at 17, which were how to build relationships, and having the client always be your first and foremost center of attention, those things I learned at 17 are still the core of my own business for Elevate Life, because I was able to identify that I was building a lifetime worth of skill sets that will benefit me throughout whatever endeavor I move forward in.
Okay, I'm sure they'll get lots of value out of that statement. So you're looking at the Next Level Living show with Coach Terrance, and our special guest tonight is Erica Williams Rogers. She's the Chief Elevation Officer of Elevate Life Business and Consulting Services. So we get to the point, you're doing well in corporate America, you're making all the money, you're living the life, you're living the dream. But you said in our pre-interview there was still something calling to you. Talk to us about that calling that was still burning inside of you.
Yes, so it's that calling, which goes back to your initial question about living life to the next level. I had all those things that people would consider success. In fact, I had business trips to Rio. How great can that be? All expenses
Okay,
paid.
you didn't have to throw that in. Okay, yeah.
I had to give you the perspective, you know? It was great, great. However, what I learned is that there is something more to life than just those material things. And so what was missing for me was the alignment of what I was doing in corporate America to what I began to understand was my higher purpose. And that was really tied into when I woke up in the morning, what impact did I want to make? From my corporate job, I was helping major retailers, Walmart, Best Buy, Target, grow their business from the U.S. and internationally. And I was well acknowledged for that. But internally, that calling said that the impact that I wanted to make in the world, that I was called to make in the world, was something bigger. That this experience and those tools that I was gaining were to be used in a higher purpose. And so, with that, um, just as I'm doing now, I took a deep breath, and with great devotion and faith, I left that wonderful world of corporate America in order to pursue a higher dream and started my own consulting company.
I love it. So was it scary? Was it challenging? Did you have any doubts when you made that move, or was this something that instantaneously happened?
Oh, it was everything other than instantaneously happening. I had doubts. I was nervous. Again, I didn't know anything differently. I started at 17. I had that job. I earned my degree while working there, but that's all that I knew was corporate America and the security of it. But that's really where the testimony is even in all that security and the compensation and the acknowledgement and the esteem of it, that just still wasn't enough in order for me to feel whole in terms of how I was moving forward. And it was that strong calling that, despite all of my fears and concerns, allowed me to move forward in faith, which is the golden word, uh, to move forward in faith towards being able to live each day in my purpose and calling.
Okay. I think it's important for people to understand, based upon what you said, your story, that even when you have that calling, you're still going to have doubts. And on the other side of the coin, even when everything is all good, even when you are getting, you're living in your status and you're living the quote unquote American dream, you,
American
you
dream.
could still be suffering inside. And that suffering is because you're not doing what you were called to do. So I like how you're being transparent, and thank you so much for sharing that, because that's really going to bless somebody who's either watching live or who's going to watch this replay. It just didn't, the light bulb didn't just come on for you and, hey, I got this calling I want to do. I'm going to quit my corporate job and go do this calling. Some time took place. Some transition took place. So
Mhm.
what was it like for Erica during the transition? And would you say there's one thing that finally allowed you to step out on that faith and do it?
Yes, it did happen over time because I heard that calling actually for several years. And because it is the American dream, there were times that, it was sort of like you watch kids playing double dutch. You kind of in and out, and you
Right.
kind of get the
Yeah.
rhythm. And it's not until you finally jump in that I tried all different things. I tried different positions in corporate America. I was promoted. I had worldwide responsibility. And at each step, what I thought was that that would fulfill that longing. And finally, I had to realize and face the fact that no, it's not it. What that longing was that I was done with that season and to be complete with it. That the corporate perspective in that life had served its purpose. I gathered what I needed from that. And now that longing, that gap, that wanting for more couldn't be fulfilled in that season. I needed to take those things and move forward. And so finally, as I really came to grips with what it would take for me to live at the next level, then that's when I made the leap. And even in that, there was bits of confidence, but there was still a whole lot of faith that was required in order for me to know and stand firm that with all the skill sets and the knowledge that I had, that it's with my source, with God's guidance, that He was going to provide for me in the next phase. And it was at that point in time that I stepped over and created my own business. And even in that, there were still things that I learned and was able to improve upon.
Unstoppable. You know, you got me over here shouting. I'm doing a little wiggle in my seat when you talked about your season, because I tell everybody, and I've mentioned it on a number of shows on the Next Level Living show, that one of my favorite verses in the Bible is Ecclesiastes
Mm,
3,
yeah.
verse 1, where it talks about, paraphrasing, there's a reason, there's a season, and then there's a lifetime for everything that happens under the sun. Sometimes you're put in a position for a reason. There's something that you need to learn. There's something that needs to be taught.
Mm,
Sometimes you're put in a place for a season because there's that seasoning that needs to happen in your life before you can go to the next stage of your life. And then there are things that are due to be with you for a lifetime. And it's that calling. It's that calling that you are supposed to be doing with your life, that purpose that
mhm.
you were created for. And
Yes.
so when you said season, I was like, oh yeah, she's right in my pew. She's sitting in my seat right next to me. She knows what she's talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with Erica Williams Rogers, the Chief Elevation Officer. I just love saying that. The Chief Elevation Officer of Elevate Life Business and Consulting Services. So, Erica, you made the leap and
Yes.
you created this business, Elevate Life. So tell us about Elevate Life and what you do for your clients in Elevate Life.
Yeah. So Elevate Life actually is a the evolution of a couple of iterations of my business. And so, Terrance, I think what your show provides of value is really helping people understand what it is to take the journey in order to live the life at its next level. And so, if you don't mind, I'm going to give some background on how Elevate Life came to be. Because,
Absolutely. Go ahead.
yeah, after I made the jump, I started my consulting company. It was called Perspective Consulting. And what I did was, because I'd been consulting internally as an employee for corporations for over 15 years, I had identified that I could use those same skills and do it on my own terms. Seems pretty logical and what most people assume. And so I did just that. It was quite successful because, again, I had the skills and the knowledge in order to do that. But I had that company and I partnered with a colleague of mine, and we were able to grow our business over 9 years through the recession and everything. We were still full with clients and projects to conduct. But again, there was just something within that. Even though I had my own business under my own terms, over time I realized that I was starting to feel that same nudge that I felt in corporate America, and it was starting to feel a bit as like I was burning out. Like I was giving and giving and giving, but something wasn't giving back that was fulfilling about that effort. And so I share that to say, for those of you who are ready to make that jump or have made that jump, and you're standing there and you're feeling like I'm there, I'm about 75, 80% there, but there's still something more longing, then know that you're in company. I had the same experience. And what I found was that I created a company that really was a glorified job. I was doing the exact same thing as I did in corporate America. And what I had not done was create a company that was tied to my purpose. And it was the role of tying to the purpose was what I had been longing for all along. And my purpose was to, again, use that teaching and my drive and love of business to help other business entrepreneurs live their purpose through their business. And it wasn't until I realized that I pivot and repositioned my company to create Elevate Life. Because Elevate Life, its focus is to provide business solutions to inspired entrepreneurs. The inspired entrepreneur who created that business because they had this longing to be more and to impact more. And the way that they fulfill their purpose in life is through their business. And so from my experience, I created a consulting company that empowers others to do the same thing that I'm doing today, which is to live my purpose through my business.
Wow, and isn't it so common that many times that our calling is tied to our story, our business is something that we use to help others, but first it helped us our ourselves. The
Yes.
very thing that you're teaching other people to do is a result of you going through that journey yourself and recognizing that you
Mhm.
wanted to elevate your own life, and now you're helping other people elevate their lives. Isn't that so true?
I'm about to call you yes, Pastor Terrance, because that's exactly it. That's exactly it. And that's why that season was so important. Had I not gone through corporate America and then created my own company on my own terms, but still not getting it exactly right, those 2 seasons I needed in order to really craft where I am today. It is what Elevate Life is. It's the result of that, those 2 seasons that helped me really align and understand how powerful that aligning with your purpose is.
I love it. I love it. And that brings us into our topic that you're talking about tonight, because there's a little bit of that topic in the story that you just told. You're going to talk. You're going to share with us the your 3 tips on how to avoid business failure and personal burnout. And your story talks about how you left corporate America and you created your own business, but you created your own business based upon the glorified job you had, not the purpose that you were called into. And
Mhm.
in most cases, when someone would have came to that realization and the business wasn't working out the way they would have intended, then they would have just quit the business. They would have went back to the glorified job. They would have went back to the comfort zone that they are aware of or that they were used to. But that wasn't your story, Erica. You decided to reshape the business even more. You went past the temptation of burning out, and you forged forward to make a successful business that you have for yourself right now. So I congratulate you for that first and foremost, and I can't wait to hear about some of these 3 tips that you want to share with our audience on how they can avoid the business failures in their own business and avoid that personal burnout. But give us some background. What do you think leads to most failures in business and personal burnout?
Yes. And so I'll start, since I just talked about the importance of purpose, with the personal burnout piece. Because for entrepreneurs, you are your business. There's this symbiotic relationship between your business and your life that can't be pulled apart. And so your business cannot do better than how you're doing. So when you are fulfilled, then you essentially serve as the gas, the fuel for your business to grow. And so the importance of really understanding and aligning your purpose with your business is that your purpose will allow you to address the fears, because there will be there. The most successful business owners, the most successful CEOs and executives in corporate America, as they stand there in leadership, there are things that, as a strong leader, there are fears that they are bypassing and addressing in order to stand there as a leader. And so I share that to say that even in your success, success does not mean that there is a lack of failure. What that means is that there is great courage and you're moving forward beyond that. And it's your purpose that allows you to move beyond that fear, that allows you to move beyond that doubt, that allows you to move beyond that, I'm not really sure if I can do it. And Therefore, your business is able to be fueled by that and move forward. Because the burnout happens when you no longer understand why you're doing it.
Wow. Okay. So the first thing that they need to learn is the why. So how do they tap into the why? How do you work with your current clients to get them to figure out what their why is?
The why, many times my clients have a general understanding of what fuels them. Where I really add the value is aligning what fuels you and ensuring that that's a part of your business model. So, for example, um, my personal purpose is to be able to empower those to live their purpose to a greater extent. And I know that I have tools and resources and knowledge in business in order to leverage that. And so, therefore, in my business model, it allows me to live out my purpose because my model requires me to be successful with my clients to align to their purpose and the fulfillment of that. And so, therefore, as they continue to fulfill their purpose in their life, while I'm consulting them, I am in alignment with that for my purpose. Because my biggest compensation, and we can talk about profit, and that's the business side. But the thing that fuels me, that gets me excited, that makes me want to get up and say, I would do this even if money was not a factor, is when I can look into an entrepreneur's eye and they get it. And they get it from a standpoint that they look at their business and it is now the reason why they want to get up in the morning. It is the reason why they know that their clients have better lives because of their business. And so therefore they're getting that fulfillment. That is what helps them create what we define as I'm working with my clients, what your business identity is. What are the values? What does your business stand for? Why does it exist? Is all aligned to the purpose for its founder.
And it's important for you to know why your business exists. And you, as a consultant with Elevate Life, you help them go through the step-by-step processes to make that clear for them, and so that they can have a confidence in their brand identity. Is that correct?
Yes, because it's that brand identity that therefore helps you understand who do you want to serve. Because the principle that I align with my clients is that all businesses that have a purpose are in the business to serve their clients. Whether they have a service business or they have a product-driven business, they are both still part of service. Your service and your products are just the vehicles by which you use in order to impact the lives of your clients. And so it's that service model for us to step back and understand what impact do you want to make in the world through your business. And so therefore, who are the people who are looking for that service? So now your client demographics and psychographics become very aligned with your purpose. And
Okay, you just hit them with some big words, so we got to go back and break down those words again. You said client demographics and psychographics. Tell us a little bit about each one of those words.
okay, so when we're the common question are who's buying your products and services, and those are typically defined by two elements: the demographics, which are what their age, their gender, perhaps their income level, where they live. You know, the general characteristics are your demographics. What's just as important are your psychographics. The psychographics of your clients are what are their internal personal needs? What are they really looking for? For example, my clients are really looking for the ability to run their business with confidence and to run it with ease and to be able to be very clear about what their next steps are. Those are their psychographic needs. Now, their demographic needs are that they have their business, they typically are within a certain age range, they are both male and female, etc. But you see, being able to tie into both of those elements really allows a business owner to therefore understand how best to provide solutions and services to those clients.
I got it. I got it. So if they don't, if a business owner doesn't take into account not only the demographics, which is the age, the sex, the race of their client, but as well as tapping into what their client is ultimately looking to achieve, what they're struggling with, or what's painful for them in
Right.
their business, then the business is not going to be able to flourish the way it wants to flourish because it's not tapping in to its customer base. Is that wrapping it up and tying it up with a bow?
With the best bow and wrapping paper possible.
Well, that's what I do. This isn't my first rodeo, Erica. This isn't my first
Not
rodeo.
at all. Not at
So,
all. Your expertise is shining right through. It,
Uh, so
that's
you're
what's
saying
important.
the point number one that they need to be aware of is they need to be aware of their why they're in business, and then point 1A is that they when they figure out their why, then they need to also be able to figure out the customer that needs their why. And many of our businesses fail because we think and we assume that somebody or everybody needs our business without putting in the work of finding out who the customer is that we are trying to attract. So that's number one. That's the number one reason that you say businesses fail, and that leads to the personal burnout. But you also mentioned the how. Talk to us about the how that a business person needs to know in order to not fail and to not burn out.
Right. So, thank you for wrapping up because, yes, the first one is being able to understand why you're in business. And underneath all of that is who your clients are, their demographics and psychographics, therefore, what products and services you provide and how you provide them. All of that is within why your business exists, or what we call the business identity. Now you get into exactly as you said, Terrance, is how. So how do you do that? And that is generally identified as your operations, or how do you automate your business. So in order to have a sustainable business, one that can last throughout time, it needs to have a structure, standardized processes, and systems that allows it to ensure consistent quality and excellence in how it serves those clients. So essentially, the how is, in layman's terms, it identifies how we do it here.
This is how we do it.
This is how we do it. Because
Okay.
how we do it is defined by why we exist. And that makes it uniquely yours as a business. No one else, even if someone came in, if you don't mind my using you as an example, Terrance, someone else could come in and call themselves the unstoppable coach. Doggone it. How dare they? But they could. I
I
would
pity
warn them.
the fool. I pity the fool.
I pity the fool, absolutely. But they could do that. But what is going to align your clients to say, but you're not the unstoppable coach, is because the why and how you serve your clients will be unique to you, Terrance. And then anyone who's coming in to understand how you get it done, the excellence by which you conduct your program. When people come back and look at your program, the way you start your program, there's some consistency. They know that you're going to open this way. They know that whoever is on your show is going to provide them value because you have a standardized system and criteria that allows you to consistently provide that value to your clients. That's what allows that company to be sustainable, is having very clear standardized processes and systems that ensures how it gets done is the way it gets done time and time again. So
Okay.
that's the second piece, is identifying how you get things done, having standardized processes and systems for your company.
So now, if a company doesn't take that how into account, what's been your experiences, some of the failings that occur as a result of them not paying attention to the how?
Yes. And Terrence, it's a very great question because it's the how that often gets overlooked. Is This is at the point when many of my clients come in and they're asking, how can they get more time? That they're working 15, 18-hour days and they're busy. They have a busyness, but not a business, because they know that
Wow.
they're doing a lot of stuff, but they don't seem to be moving forward. And I take them through a process of being able to step back to analyze exactly what is it they're doing for their core business. So, for example, when you are enrolling your clients, what steps do you take? And oftentimes, those clients who have not stopped to define the how are recreating processes every single time. Every time they take in a client, there's different things that they do. And so essentially, they're starting all over again every single time for a process that they do every day. And so that's where we're able to find some efficiencies in their business to say, when you're enrolling your clients, you do step 1, step 2, step 3, etc. You make a decision here whether to do step 4A or step 4B and move forward, because it's by the consistency and the standardization of that process, they're able to ensure that no matter which client comes to them, that each client is getting the same level of service with excellence and in a timely manner. And then what the owner gains in that consistency is something that's very efficient. What used to take them 45 minutes to do, now it takes them 15 minutes to do because they know it. It's like getting up in the morning. If you have your standardized process, you hardly thinking about, first you put your shoes on. Most people put on their pants the same leg um, first and second every single time. That they don't even realize it because it's part of their standardized process and they do it very quickly and efficiently. And that's the same thing that standardization allows you to do from that benefit.
Okay. So it's basically a way to work smarter, not harder, because you've had a routine, you've had a process set in place that is repeatable, that is manageable, and that you can teach other people how to do. I love it. But what if that business has set up the process, but the process hasn't been tied into what you talked about earlier, the why?
Yes. Um, what happens there is the business continues to move forward or exist, but that's when at one point in time, the business owner starts to feel a lack of fulfillment, and or the clients that they really were out to serve are no longer coming through the door,
Wow.
because that why, again, is the area that allows you to align what you're providing them as a service to their need. And so if there's a disconnect there, then you're no longer fulfilling the needs of your ideal clients that you want to serve, even though you have a process in place.
I got it. I got it. So it's real important that these things, just like the process, that the why ties in to the how. So
Yes.
what's the third tip that you want to share with them about avoiding business failure and personal burnout?
Great. So let's take them in sequential order. So you have identified why your business exists. It's a firm identity on what it stands for. And you've taken the steps to say, this is how we do it and how we consistently provide value and excellence to our clients. And your business is flourishing. And so I have another segment of clients who come in and say, I have so much business is growing, it's great, I need more people. And so The third step is your team alliance. And that's when you begin to bring on more resources. And those resources can come in several different forms. Oftentimes, people hire in an assistant or a virtual assistant. They have an accountant or a social media person, or they begin to start partnering with other companies. That's the third element in order to um, scale your business. And what scaling means is that you have a business that's reproducible. Essentially, it's kind of a business in a box. It in that box, it says what the business is, how we do things, and as you unwrap this box that Terrance has wrapped so eloquently, then you as one of the team members, whether you're an employee or a contractor or you're in partnership with them, can easily understand what the business is about, how you do things, and what role you uniquely play in ensuring that that business moves forward. So that's where the roles and the responsibilities sit and the culture of the company.
Now, is it just easy to have the why and then to have the how, and then your business starts blowing up and you're getting more orders that you can handle by yourself? Is it easy to just put an ad in the paper and say you want to bring in some new employees to learn to learn your why for your business and how you do it to make it successful? Is it just that easy?
Um, it can be, it's easier. It's easier once you've identified the why and the how, because it's those two things that you will utilize when you are evaluating people to either come in as an employee or evaluating what companies you want to be in partnership if you guys are going to join together to do a specific program or a product or service, because that becomes your criteria. That becomes not only when you are assessing them on the skill sets, that's usually the easiest. You know that they can utilize this program, you know that they have project management skills, um, or those kind of skill sets that you typically see in a job description. But where oftentimes there's frustrations with either employees or with joint ventures is along the lines of what heart do people have in the effort, and understanding why someone wants to be there and how they're going to align with your vision is when you're going back to evaluate that employee relationship or that partnership, of asking them the questions on why does their company exist, or what type of values or impact does a company you would want to work for, what does it have? And then the how makes it very easy for them to understand when they come in. There's very clear delineation of, I know that you have 2-3 years of being an assistant, but here at this company, here's how we interact with our clients. Here's what's expected in terms of follow-up, and here's how we address them. It's that ability to provide that clear delineation and expectations for those who are coming into your business what makes it much easier than when, or than if you had not defined those things. Because it's usually not until you get into the relationship do you realize that you have a different perspective on how you want to move forward in the company.
Okay, so you're basically looking for people who are going to buy into your mission and buy into the culture of your company. Not that they may be a great accountant or they may be great at filing or they may be a great receptionist at answering the phone, but can they do it the elevate life way, or can they do it the unstoppable coaching way? Do they have the ability to adapt to your culture so that they can buy into your why and how you do the things you do the way you
Exactly.
do them? Cool. All right. So if we've got a someone who's watching this show right now, or who may be watching the replay, that is either struggling with the why, of their business, or struggling with the how to create the processes to have a smarter and smoother running business, or if they're struggling with the what of how to bring in others to help them in this mission of having their business expand, then Erica, how can they get in contact with you to continue that conversation?
Absolutely. Um, we always invite those who would like to understand more about what we do, or particularly would like to utilize our services, to simply, one of our automation tools is to text us. They can simply text the word play, PLAY, to 941
All right,
And
for the slow people in the room, let's say that one more time.
you'd want to text the word play, PLAY, to the number 941-444-5933.
All
And
right,
what
nine
that
four
does is
one
gives us
four
the
four
information so
four
we can be in touch.
5933.
Yes.
Okay, and we've put that in the Next Level Living Show Facebook chat room. So definitely, if you want to get in contact with Erica, go ahead and text the word "play." I love it. I love it. All work, but we want you to play to
Yes.
941-444-5933. I got it. Oh, I'm good.
Because once you live an elevated life, work is like play.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're good at what you do. So what do when I pick up my phone and I text the word play to 941-444-5933, what happens, Erica?
Ah, yes. So that begins the relationship. What you'll receive is a response asking for your additional information. And once that's provided, you will be granted access to our membership. And as we move forward in launching the Elevate Life membership portal, you'll have direct access to um, tools and templates that will allow you both to define why your business exists, how it should move forward, and what are the parameters that you should have around your team alliance. And so those three areas that we've identified to ensure that you avoid your personal burnout and business failure, there'll be resources and tools that you can utilize to ensure that you have success both personally and business.
Excellent, unstoppable content that you gave us tonight, Erica. I so appreciate you continuing the conversation with me and blessing our show this evening. We're gonna let you give us some final thoughts. Anything happening in your world where they can see you personally, live and in person, over the next couple of weeks that you want to share, or any other promotions you got going on?
Sure. In fact, there is an opportunity. Um, I am Elevate Life is co-sponsoring an event called Men of Wisdom on Tour. And so if you're in the Southern California area, we have are bringing in Dr. George Fraser. He's most noted for being the author of Success Runs in Our Race. And he also is most notably noted for a Power Networking Tour or conference. And so he'll come in and speak along with several other panelists in terms of what it takes to be successful both personally and from business. And that's taking place this Saturday, March 14th, in West Hollywood. So if you are interested, then please, I urge you to check us out on menofwisdomontour.com for more information. Again, this is a partnership with two other colleagues of ours who all together we have a joint alliance in why our businesses exist. And it is to uplift and empower professionals and entrepreneurs. And hence, together we are providing this networking opportunity this Saturday.
Excellent. So that's menofwisdomontour.com to get more information about this Saturday's event in Southern California with George Frazier and the beautiful, lovely Erica Williams Rogers. Isn't she looking so pretty in her nice red tonight? Erica, any final thoughts you want to share with us?
Yes. What I want to leave with you, and I've talked about it, and Terrance has concurred, is really the importance of living on a higher purpose. And so I've shared my story on how I fulfill that through my business, but many of us are called to live that through several different means. And so whether it is that you're a professional, but your higher purpose allows you to volunteer, or your higher purpose is to just teach and touch one person at a time. Whatever it is, then I urge you to move forward and live in that, because it is such a gift to give that in being of service, there's no way that you can give to someone else and not receive. It's like a funnel. The Lord may be utilizing you as his instrument to funnel blessings to other people, but there's no way that you can funnel anything through that and the funnel itself doesn't receive some residue, some blessings in it as it gives. And so that's what living in your purpose has meant for me. And I urge you, whether it is a smooth transition or you are being called to make a leap of faith, that in my experience and in my faith, that you'll land in the right place.
Wow, powerful. And as we pass the virtual plate and give her a virtual applause, we thank you so much. Erica Williams Rogers, CEO, Chief Elevation Officer of Elevate Life. So, in addition to the text, why don't you give out your website information, or if there's an email you want them to reach out to you as well, so that they can have that information.
Sure. Our website is Elevate Life, ELEVATE LYFE. Life, again, is LYFE, standing for Living Your Full Essence. Or you can email me directly, and that's Erica, ERIKA, at elevatelife.com.
Fabulous, and we elevate life. We've got it listed on our next level living show marquee behind us, and it is truly, again, it's been a blessing. It was a blessing to meet you at the event that we spent time together with, and I definitely want to continue to collaborate with you. And you are more than welcome to come back on to the Next Level Living show and talk about any upcoming events that you have coming on in your life. Would you do that for us, Erica?
Oh, absolutely. I just want to acknowledge you, if I may, and want to thank you. We've talked before that you and your business and this show is a personification of your living your purpose. And this is a wonderful example on because you've moved forward in that you've been able to bless me with this opportunity to be in service of your clients. So thank you for the opportunity of being on the show, and I would be so honored to come back. Thank you.
All right, that's Erica Williams Rogers on the Next Level Living show with Coach Terrance. Thank you so much, Erica. And as we always do, I always want you to go back to the Next Level Living show Facebook chat room and give us your takeaways from tonight's show. What resonated with you? What stuck out in the show for you? And more importantly, what call to action are you going to take now? As I said in the beginning, if you just get infotained and you do nothing with it, then how different is your life going to be than before you got on this show? I put in my book that a dream, a vision without action is just a dream. Aren't you tired of dreaming? Aren't you ready to live the life that you dream about? Well, we've just provided you with the content. Now it's up to you to take the action. Do you want to have something better, or do you want to settle for less? And you know what my statement is. Why would you ever settle for less when you can be unstoppable? Until we connect again, family, I don't want you to just have a great week. I want you to have an unstoppable week. And here's to living your life on the next level. Take care, family.